What if the biggest clue about the Osmo Pocket 4 is not the camera itself, but a tiny accessory nobody has even seen yet? Today, a quiet FCC filing revealed something called the Osmo Frame Tab, and at first glance it sounds boring. No leaked photos, no renders, no flashy description. But trust me, this is one of those moments where the absence of details is actually the detail. Because when DJI starts developing a standalone control accessory, it usually means something bigger is happening behind the scenes. In this video, we are breaking down why this mysterious accessory matters, what it tells us about the Pocket 4 strategy, and why the next Osmo Pocket might be more than just a simple refresh. Stick around, because the design leaks at the end flip the entire camera concept on its head. So, what do we actually know about this Osmo Frame Tab? Not much, and that is exactly why it is interesting. DJI has registered it, but nobody knows if it has a screen, buttons, haptic controls, or if it is a minimalist wireless remote. The key question is not what it looks like, it is why it exists at all. DJI rarely builds standalone control accessories unless the camera itself demands more flexibility. This immediately fuels the idea that the Osmo Pocket 4 may not be a single, one-size-fits-all device this time. A separate controller suddenly makes sense if one version of the Pocket supports more advanced shooting modes, more complex framing tools, or hands-free operation for creators who want to set and forget the camera. Here is where the theory gets interesting. A growing number of leaks suggest DJI could split the Pocket 4 into two versions. One aimed at casual creators who want simplicity, and another aimed at power users who want maximum control. That would explain why earlier leaks felt inconsistent. Different housing sizes, different camera layouts, different design choices. Instead of conflicting information, we might simply be seeing two products at different stages. In that context, the Frame Tab stops being random and starts looking intentional. A modular control solution allows DJI to keep the camera body clean while offering deeper control for those who want it. That is not a spec bump, that is a workflow shift. Now let's talk timing, because this is where recent reports clear things up. Reliable sources, including YouTuber PhotoRabs, have confirmed that DJI has delayed the Osmo Pocket 4 launch to January 2026. The new window sits between January 10th and the end of the month. And here is the important part. The delay is not because the camera is unfinished. Sources indicate the hardware is complete and ready for production. The holdup appears to be accessories. Final quality control, software tuning, and companion devices like this Frame Tab are still being finalized. That actually aligns perfectly with what we are seeing. A camera ready to ship, but an ecosystem still being polished. Earlier leaks suggested a horizontal dual camera layout, with two lenses sitting side by side. But new test footage shared by Igor shows something very different. A vertical dual lens stack, with one lens placed directly above the other. That design instantly sparked comparisons to a mini DJI Air 3. And if DJI is borrowing ideas from the Air 3, the implications are huge. A wide-angle lens around 24mm paired with a medium-range 2x optical zoom inspired by the Air 3's 70mm lens becomes very plausible. Combine that with AI auto-framing, and you get seamless transitions between lenses while keeping the subject perfectly centered. That is a massive leap for a pocket-sized camera. So what does all of this really mean? The Osmo Pocket 4 is clearly not a routine yearly refresh. A delayed launch, a mystery control accessory, and a drone-inspired dual camera system all point to a much bigger rethink. DJI is not just bumping specs this time, they are reimagining how people actually use the Pocket, possibly even splitting the lineup into more than one model. US availability is still a question thanks to regulatory pressure, but the direction is clear. This generation is about flexibility, modular control, and smarter shooting, not just higher numbers. Now I want to hear from you. Does the Frame Tab suggest two Pocket 4 models? Or is DJI simply building a deeper ecosystem? Drop your thoughts below. What if DJI quietly rewired the entire avatar idea and dropped a drone that shoots everything around you in one flight? Today we're unpacking the Avatar 3 leaks, or maybe it will be called the Avatar 360. And I'll walk you through the timeline rumors, the headline specs, and the real question every pilot is asking: should you wait or buy right now? Stick with me. The part about the camera options and how that changes your whole workflow is coming up, and it might be the reason you either upgrade or keep flying what you already have. Okay, first the big picture. The Avatar line has always been about approachable FPV, compact, ducted, and forgiving. The Avatar 2 polished that formula. The Avatar 3 leaks suggest DJI wants to push past incremental tweaks. Think bigger sensor options, faster top speeds, longer flight times, and possibly a dual-lens 360 capture setup. Right now, the community is split. Some leakers describe a straight successor with a 1-inch sensor. Others show twin lenses and call it Avatar 360. Both scenarios change how you shoot and edit, so let's break down what each would actually mean for creators. If DJI goes with a 1-inch sensor, expect a meaningful jump in low light, dynamic range, and detail versus the Avatar 2. That's real for night or indoor work where noise and highlight clipping matter. Now, if the Avatar 360 rumors are true and DJI mounts twin 1-inch sensors for spherical capture, that's a different game. Native 360 video, potential 8K spherical capture, and full reframing in post. But Aerial 360 introduces challenges: stitching, vibration damping, and heavier processing. Practical takeaway: a single large sensor gives better traditional FPV footage. A dual 360 rig gives creative freedom but raises workflow and hardware demands. Speed and handling rumors point toward redesigned propellers and a lighter, stiffer frame. Pilots are whispering 120 to 140 kilometers per hour in top builds. Longer flight time is claimed too, with batteries jumping into the 3,000 mAh range and better power swapping. That could mean 25 to 30 minutes per flight in conservative use, which is huge for cinematic runs. But remember, real-world flight times depend on payload, wind, and whether you're recording 8K spherical or standard 4K. If you plan to fly 360 capture, expect reduced runtime compared to a photo-only setup. Another critical piece: sensing. Leaks mention multi-direction obstacle sensing and smarter tracking for 360 awareness. If true, DJI would be solving a core problem with spherical airborne capture. You're recording in every direction, so collision avoidance matters more than ever. Also, regulatory issues could affect availability in certain regions, especially if governments flag data or transmission concerns. That's not new, but it might influence launch timing or whether certain versions ship globally. If you fly commercially, keep an eye on local rules before upgrading. Here's my short answer. If you need reliable FPV performance today and the Avatar 2 does what you need, there's no urgent reason to panic buy. If you value low light and cleaner image quality and the 1-inch sensor leaks are accurate, waiting could be worth it. If you're a spherical or VR creator and the Avatar 360 arrives with usable 8K stitch and stable workflow, that could be transformative, but be ready for heavy file sizes and new editing demands. My gut, DJI will ship something compelling in late 2025 or early 2026, but expect region-specific availability and at least one variant aimed at creators who want 360 capture. So which side are you on? A faster, cleaner Avatar 3 or a daring Avatar 360 that records everything and asks you to rethink editing? Drop your take in the comments. If you want quick updates when DJI finally confirms specs, like this video and subscribe so you do not miss the hands-on coverage.